All right, Presley, you're up. How do you feel?
Sweet. Great work. I know I've spoken to you a bunch about some of the stuff you've done here, plus a lot of your other clips that you've redesigned. I think you're still killing it. You're doing a great job. It's cool to see pretty much entirely new clips in this one. I think the last reel that you did were entirely different clips the entire way through, so it's obvious that you're still practicing and really keeping up with that kind of stuff. So good job there.
Yeah, that's an important point too. It's like if you're not to say this is not about like applying and failing or something, but if you apply somewhere and you don't get that job and you keep working away and you keep making new stuff and then you apply again, if you sit out last time and maybe you missed by a nose and you apply again and it's all new stuff, it looks so good because you've obviously been cranking hard. So yeah, I mean, I know for a fact Jackson's been working very hard for a long time. So it's, I mean, I can't imagine it's not going to pay off at some point. So good on you, man. In terms of design stuff, I mean, we've talked a lot about this clip here, the Black Myth with the boss fight. And I think that you've made a lot of, I mean, I can say this personally, since the first version I heard, this has come a long way. I mean, the first version, for those just listening who didn't hear it before, had a lot of kind of sameness in the player movement, the hero movement, and also sameness between the enemy and the hero, the player and the adversary there. And there's a lot more separation now in terms of vocalizations, in terms of size, in terms of just kind of the textures and stuff. So it's feeling a lot better. I also appreciate just in terms of the pieces you've selected, they're really nice. I mean, the kind of the mini story I often talk about on Real Talk. We have a clip. I mean, when you go to do a sound redesign, a gameplay sound redesign, you can choose any, we'll call it 15 seconds. You can choose any 15-second clip in what, a 60-hour game? Like what what clip do you choose, right? So it's pretty important to choose a clip that you think will best speak to your abilities. And a big part of game audio is supporting narrative. So having something that has a little mini story inside that clip goes a very long way. So this Fallen Order clip, I mean, we have, we're working on our little buddy, BD1, is it? And then we kind of climb a thing. We have some Foley. We go to a little thing. We go to a console. We see BD1 do the thing, and then the result of that, big machinery thing moves over, and then we interact with it. Like that's a great sequence. We kind of I get a good feeling of what Jackson feels and just Jackson's sensibilities about designing for game audio specifically for games and not for linear media. We have this kind of movement over time, the phrasing from point A to point B. I feel like, yeah, if I played the game and this happened, I'd be like, cool, this makes sense in this environment, and I feel like I'm doing the right thing, and I'm pushing my own story forwards, and I'm crossing this gap, and I'm going to keep playing the game. It feels awesome. So a big part too is that this crane moving, all these little sounds we're hearing, a BD1, the crane, the finishing, even the kind of zip line down the whole thing, all those sounds are kind of a mini reward in themselves. The player did the thing, and now they get to hear the cool result, right? Any other thoughts from you, Presley, before we move on?
Yeah, the part that actually I was really impressed by was just the gore slaps from like the Helldiver clip. They were just really good. It's just a really nice, like, gross sounding texture to it, and I just want to kind of call that out because it was really well done. In terms of the Fallen Order clip, usually you hear a lot of sound designers say like, don't include VO or music, don't do it. It could be a bad thing. We don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But in this particular instance, I didn't feel like it was off-putting. I didn't feel like it didn't match the reel. It sat nicely and everything, and it didn't overpower the sound effects that you were showing off. So I think this is a really good example of when you can add either musical or VO components to a reel and have it be successful.
Yes, but high risk, very high risk adding voiceover. If it works out, awesome, maximal benefit. If it does not work out, maximal like catastrophe. Can be very bad very fast. So be careful with that. Okay, yeah, and to be honest, I didn't even acknowledge the voice acting first time through. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. All right, Jackson. Thanks, pal. You're doing it. Let's keep going.